Tracy Morgan goes out and does something, and it ends up being a whole thing. Like, how does that happen? Why doesn't it happen to one person but another?
Tracy Morgan's a stupid.
Whoa.
Tony, shut the fuck up.
He is. He is.
Oh, God.
Paul.
Yes, sir.
It's going great. Colin Quinn, because he was on Saturday Night Live.
I have
and
no
with
problem
Tracy
with that.
Morgan,
Right.
how did you feel? Should he apologized or not? Do you think that was...
Like you said, he was a stupid. Listen, I don't want to. I couldn't resist.
Football de table en face de la piscine.
Paul, I didn't know this show was gonna be in French, dude. I didn't know.
It's the weirdest thing to have a whole fucking room laughing at shit I can't comprehend.
Have you not seen Dane Cook? I don't even know the guy, I just knew the reference.
Did you ever think that when we were young, you know, back when we were alive, that we would like be going, we would be going to the fucking airport and see the army guys with like guns and badges and shit like this fucking Nazi Germany? Did you ever think it was going to be like that?
Well, of course I didn't.
Are you telling me?
Okay.
No, I didn't think that.
Hey, Bob, say something attached to what the fuck they just said. All right. Okay. What can come out your ass after that? Let's figure it out. Some chewing gum, nigga? What's coming out your ass, Bob?
Throwing this.
Will you fucking...
I'm just confused because, you know, first, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. With Obama becoming president, do you think that changes the racial situation in America? Do you think it's changed at all?
It's one more of them employed.
When he says shit like that, you don't bust his ball. Every time he does a Negro joke, it's okay. I do
foreign. I don't know better.
No, it doesn't.
I know better.
No, because what happens is it doesn't matter because the youth, they got on that internet, they put Obama in office.
Right.
They woke everybody up.
It's mostly the white youth, because a lot of black guys
No,
under
no,
25
no, no.
are convicted
No,
felons and they can't vote.
no,
and you
no.
got to remember.
Did you picture your career this way when you started out? Is it like what you wanted?
Not here.
No, better than
You know, my goal was to do stand-up. I just love doing stand-up. I was making a living doing stand-up. I did The Tonight Show with Johnny. I did the HBO. I did the Young Comedian Special with this guy 17 years ago. And it was the Young Comedian Special, and I was kind of old then.
Yeah.
I was,
I noticed that.
I was like 35.
I remember at the time just thinking Ray is so much better than all of us.
I remember seeing your stand-up and thinking, that guy's going to be a great writer. Wait a minute.
I got a question. Bells, now, I remember seeing you at the tail end in the New York comedy scene, late 80s, when it was fun, I bet. It was probably like a blast.
70s.
Fucking 70s, 80s, whatever. Yeah. All right, I don't have the exact year,
No
sorry.
AIDS, Coke spoons around
Am I
your neck.
Ken Burns? I don't know when it was, all right? Either way.
See how he lures you in? It's beautiful. Yeah, no, but go ahead, I'm sorry.
Both of you guys were having a ball. Now comedy is like it's all this self-promotion and, you know, whatever. You got to wear a funny hat. You got to wear a jacket. It's just a lot of work. It sucks. It does. It sucks.
No, it's really changed, right?
Yeah.
We never had to deal with merch.
Yeah.
What's merch?
See, he doesn't even know what it is.
Sounds fun. Merch.
I bought your fucking How to Do Comedy book when I started out. All right, you don't know what merch is?
Yeah, man.
I read that thing.
Me too.
It took me 5-6 years to overcome that.
The masters take.
I'm not down. I'm not down.
Whenever I perform a show in front of my people,
I bomb.
People. Who are your people?
Pakistanis.
Why do you think that you don't do well? Or is it just in your mind that you don't do well?
No, I know I don't do well because they called and complained to my manager afterwards.
Really?
Really?
What did
Muslims?
they say?
I did a show for a Muslim Doctors Association, and
Wait, here or in Pakistan?
here.
Oh, 'cause
in
what kind of-
Pakistan it would just be called Doctors Association.
I didn't want them to throw her out.
Nobody, no matter even how much you might like Sarah Palin, can actually envision a positive joke about Sarah Palin.
I made the decision after she was nominated, and I heard her speak the first couple of times after a couple of weeks, and I knew she was like, for me, a mother lode. But I was so shocked that she was running. It stunned me so much. I said on stage, I wouldn't make jokes about her because I could not live in this world if I believed she was a real person. And so I have, for the entire time that she's been around, treated her as a hallucination.
I did a joke one night, and he got offended. It was weird. It was during the O.J. Simpson thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I said something about the jury thought that DNA meant that nigger's acquitted. And he got upset.
Down right, ladies and gentlemen. I've been laughing my ass off. When y'all edit this, don't make it look like I was cooning up, because this is some funny shit. I saw the camera, and when he said that nigga's acquitted, the camera went straight to me. And it's like, I don't want y'all to edit this to make it look like it's all right, that nigga's laughing. It's funny, so go ahead and laugh. It's funny as shit. I love y'all talking about this, so just laugh, man. This shit is funny, man. That's all I'm saying.
Sweet. Hey, Paul, do me a favor. Make sure you edit all that shit out and just put a subtitle that says that nigger's cooning.
I was watching Def Jam. This comic opened up with, "Bitches ain't shit," and I was like, "Wow."
Let's be honest, they ain't shit. I mean.
Yeah, but if you really got underneath what he was saying, he was probably just afraid to get into a relationship. You know?
I know.
Just layers.
I think stand-ups are the person in the room. We almost get up and articulate what maybe the room is thinking or hoping, or an idea that they hadn't thought of. It's like we're very real. We have to be very rooted, which is the trouble if you get successful, because you suddenly lose a connection with people.
I don't think that would affect my acting one.
No, because
he said why it wouldn't affect your act.
Why?
I said because people will always rape. I have a bit for you that I want to tell you because I've never been able to use it because it just doesn't suit my act. Oh, great. Okay, go on. I want to give you a joke.
Yeah, done. Thanks.
I'm not going to do it now.
Do it now!
I often get this with comics.
People do it to me.
In Montreal or at Edinburgh, when you're around comics, they come up, they say, "Listen, I wrote this joke about raping a baby. I can't tell that joke, but maybe you could." And you go, "Have you seen my act? It's not that bad."
What is
the last 15 minutes?
What is the most offensive joke that you've ever written?
If only Africa had more mosquito nets, then every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS.
Wow. Were you not hopeful that there would be change with Obama in office?
We love magic, man. We don't like talking reality. That's why I never really fell for the whole thing. We like that's why people think ancient dishwashers have predicted the end of the world in 2012, man. I don't believe in that.
Ancient dishwashers.
The apocalypto, goofy little short dude. I don't believe in it. You feel this though? You feel this. It's just like, ooh, because I said ancient dishwashers. But let's be honest, that's some funny shit. But but predicted the end of the world. Bob, you got a fucking joke about something about the end of the world, nigga?
Jump in, Roseanne. I don't know.
I hate hope.
And I got on the first public transportation, and I told the white people, get in the back where you fucking belong. Obama is president!
Hey, speaking of the bus, let me ask you this. How come people died so that black people could sit wherever they wanted on the bus, and now black people all go and sit in the back of the bus? Why is that?
Because
they don't learn, Paul.
The same reason.
I'm of the younger generation, so I just wonder for all of you, who are you?
All right, now you can talk.
It's so good. It's so good because it's so mutual.
Did you start doing comedy there or here?
No, here. Well, stand-up over there, when I was there, was like 20 years behind. So it was like or 30 years behind. It was like very different, like Catskills kind of.
Catskills in Pakistan?
Yeah. It's a fascinating world.
Take my wives, please.
These kids, they blow up so young.
That's easy.
I know, it's all right.
I'm right here, guys. I can hear.
Plus, I would never be one of those people. I don't care who's in charge. I still, maybe this is like my Missouri hillbilly side, I still do respect the office.
So what, the president of Germany was, you had to respect the office even when Hitler was
If you're
in it?
German?
Well, yeah. If you're German.
What about the Germans who said, no, I don't respect it, that's wrong, that's not what Germany is,
Really,
you don't speak
really,
for me.
we're gonna
Well, aren't they the good guys?
We're gonna go down, really, you know, Lou knows, there's nothing you can talk about World War II and the Germans that I don't know. This could be another 18 hours.
Seriously?
Yes, I just got the whole Nazi thing they advertise on TV, unseen footage. Oh, I mean, here he is at the Wolf's Lair. What? I never saw this shit. What? And now they've got interviews because the people are old enough in Germany. They finally I think they think, fuck it, we're gonna die, so they're being honest. And now there's all these old Germans going, well, we were not telling the truth. We kind of thought he was awesome. We did. We were all in. We didn't like the Jews. We were sad about being German. He made us happy about being German. It was all great till it got weird.
I had one of the few letters written when I was performing at the Comedy Store upset at me because I had this bit that I was doing about, there's a thing called the Second Coming Project, where people had theorized if the blood from the Shroud of Turin was actually Jesus' blood, we could somehow or another clone Jesus. So I had this bit that I was doing about
Nothing
Jesus
could possibly
being
go
cloned,
wrong
about how
there.
Cloning, the very first time you clone it, it's not always exact science. Like Dolly the sheep, they had to go through a bunch of dollies before they got the good one. You know, I'm like, if Jesus comes back retarded, like, do we still follow him? Like, what do we do? So I had this whole thing about how he went, instead of turning water into wine, he turned like dog shit into cookies, and everybody would just follow him around. And I was doing this bit, man, and this fucking lady said, next subject, next subject. She was like directing me.
Okay, you gotta tell you, like, that word, it can mean other things. It just can be ball breaking anytime you play sport. I was playing hockey the other day, okay? And this guy, he knocked me down. I felt stupid. I got up. He asked me, he goes, you all right? And I go, yeah, you faggot. Like, it was this oddly intimate moment. He was going, are you okay? And we were on the ice, and it made me uncomfortable. And I said, hey, you faggot, get away from me.
So you want us to believe that you're fucking skating around with your buddy on the ice, figure skating, and we're supposed to believe you're Mr. Fucking Monk.
You see what he's doing now? He's using, like, homophobia. Hey, you're twirling out there in your dress.
You're twirling out there in your little
see that?
skates.
That's what guys do.
What about George Carlin's great routine?
What's that?
He goes, when he's growing up, a fag was a guy that wouldn't go downtown with you and beat up the queers. He goes, go home, fag.
Jimmy has a book coming out. You have a theory about why we even have comedy.
It's a little bit pretentious. Are you sure you want to hear it? Because it's pretentious.
I assume
Okay, so I was trying to think about why do we laugh? And I think, the last couple of 100 years, what?
Do we still have to buy the book?
We release endorphins when we laugh. And the reason people come to comedy shows is there's a release of endorphins and you're happy.
So is laughter the opposite of what we're doing right now? That's what I want to know. Is that what it is? 'Cause I'm fucking lost, man. I don't know what's going on. Man.
Speaking of women taking risks.
Yeah, I got in a little bit of trouble for that, too.
She looks like Hitler in the picture.
Don't I look like
Just like Hitler, like you have his face.
Thank you. Check out my fucking Hitler shit. That's Hitler.
These are little gingerbread Jews, aren't they?
Yeah. It's like a Jewish woman, and she's dressed up like Hitler. And, he's in drag, Hitler. And he's baking cookies, and he's really proud of them, but also he's looking off into the horizon because he has a dream.
Jews went crazy over this, understandably.
Yeah, and I don't see understandably. It really pissed me off because they're like, you're making fun of the people in the ovens. Well, I'm not making fun of the people.
You kind of are, though.
I kind of am not.
I mean, let's be honest
Why did you
here.
say
Only
that?
thing would have been worse if you made the cookies skinny.
Wow.
No, that's so not right.
I was going to tell you a story about Richard, but she doesn't even know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was a baby. Baby. And Richard and her mother were having fights. And I used to call the house they lived in, lived around the corner from me, House of Pain. And so they had got into a battle, and her mother brought the baby to me. And I kept Rain for about 3 days. And she was a baby. She doesn't even know that.
That story's really funny, Paul. Thanks. Really good.
No. That was a serious. No, all the white folks laughed. That's good.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, how did that become racist? How the fuck did that become racist?
Because they did. Because they all laughed. No.
Did you laugh? Did you laugh when he said that was funny, Paul? Did you laugh?
Yeah, that was funny.
So when I first met Bo, I asked him who his favorite comic is, and he said Hans Theeuwen. Exactly. He's a Dutch comedian. And when I met you, you were 9? I can't really talk about it because of the restraining order, but I was just blown away that you would even know who he was.
Wait, what's his name?
Hans Theeuwen.
Can you do a little bit of this thing?
He's a Dutch absurdist. One of the things he does is he brings out a sock puppet, which is a black sock.
See, already I don't like him.
Yeah, no. All right. It's a white sock.
Oh,
and then
But you were taught specifically that Jews are evil.
Yeah, in school. Yeah, our history books were definitely all the original Muslim wars that we studied history were all against, and then the Jews came. And I remember there was a test. They asked us this question. It was a trick question. How many people were martyred in the war? And somebody was like 3,000. Like, nope, 1,500 of those were Jews, so they're going to hell. And this was like in 6th grade or something.
So now it's probably a higher number.
I hope so. We've been working pretty hard. We've been going at it.
You are, in fact, an alcoholic, right?
I only drink when I work, and I'm a workaholic.
I was so excited that you were in a movie, and I was bummed that it turned out to be this one.
In his attempt to shut down the paraphernalia industry and send a message to Hollywood, John Ashcroft made an example out of Tommy, proving that even a rich movie star is not untouchable for the DEA.
The privatized prison business is big. It's a slave labor market. We get these little jobs and we get like $15 a month, low end. People that are doing the longest time here are the ones that had a strategy, that went to court and fought it and lost. I'll tell you what it did. It made me feel like a black guy.
Wow. Whether he said something offensive or not, I just thought it was fucked up that one guy went home like with, I guess, the greatest memory ever, like a stenographer, and typed it out, and everybody's like, that's what he said, and that's what he meant, because guy in seat number 5F said it. And next thing you know, he's going around got to apologize. That's kind of a scary thing as a comedian.
Well,
I've seen Tracy's act, his show is crazy.
It
His
is
show
pretty
is pretty
crazy, yeah.
over the top.
Tracy's genuinely
So
out of
it's
his mind,
not
though.
like he's up there like, what's up with end tables, and then goes into that shit. And that's when it comes to me where you're doing like this selective getting offended.
Who is determining how somebody's intent is? Who is to determine, hey, you know, the way you said that was mean-spirited. I know a lot of fucking idiots that think a lot of shit is mean-spirited just because it goes against what they believe. Everything is subjective to each audience. So you could say one thing in front of one audience, say the same thing, and those people are offended because it offends them. Just like me, there's shit that offends me. But it's like, I can't make those determinations.
What offends you?
All right, this is a bad example, but
That's just the Canadian touch they put in.
Right. Does the Montreal, the little mascot, does that look like if you asked a redneck to describe a Jew? Like, is it... like, well, little green guy with a pointy nose and horns. Like, that feels weird.
Whole issue with the TSA and all that bullshit security, which is a fucking puppet show, let's be honest.
Here's my problem with that whole thing. A fat black bitch that is at the motherfucking gate, right? I mean,
Patrice,
she's
can
awful.
you name, just say her name?
It has to be Tamika, and don't try to set me up to do your white humor for you, nigga. I feel you, Bob.
I want to
Here's the
contact her.
problem.
I'm going to call her right.
As a society, right, what we do with pedophiles is we excuse some, we don't excuse others, right? So Elvis Presley had Priscilla Presley move into his house at 14 years of age, and he became a legal gardener. He fucked her until she was 16, then he married her. And Charlie Chaplin impregnated a 15-year-old. Yet no one says anything because they were the best in their field, right? You're never going to get another king of rock and roll, and you'll never get a Bella Silent movie star, right? All I'm saying is, how talented do you have to be to fuck a kid? At what stage do we as a society go, but he was good, right? See?
Me a favor, would you do Art Is Dead? Yeah. Because I think that song says everything that I think I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll do that one. Yeah, sure.
Oh, he's a prop comic.
Thank you, man. I think that's kind of interesting from a comic his age.
I thought it was cute.
It kind of chips away at hope when you realize that even Muslims themselves don't get along.
Yeah, like.
And
yeah.
what's the difference between Shiites and Sunnis? It's like a clerical error.
Good pun, too. Good pun. Cleric.
I met him at a gig. We had the same manager at the time. He goes, oh, I'm going to send this young guy up to open for you up. So he and his wife come in the green room. They're talking about how they're living in their car. And I thought, well, if I was this girl, this guy better be really fucking funny or really good in bed.